Hey guys, Hez here bringing you another video. Now welcome to another profile review video. Again, we go through a bunch of profiles each episode, pick out a bunch of advice. You guys can apply it to your own profiles as well. And generally there's a lot of education to have from these episodes. Some of the lessons do get, I'd say, a little bit repetitive, but it does show how many of the same problems people do. So we're starting with this guy. He's on EU Northeast. He's called I'm Chosen One, and this is an example of someone recently that subscribed on Twitch to get one of these episodes. So again, if you're wondering, how do you get on this series? How do you get one of these? Just become a Twitch subscriber, whether that's Twitch Prime or throw a tier 1 sub, whatever you want, on my Twitch, Huzzy Games on Twitch. Connect your Discord account to your Twitch account. Join my Discord server, which is Huzzy Games. Either private message me or say in the Twitch subscriber channel, hey, I literally subscribed to get one of these, and you'll get one. This is literally the first person that did it, and I was like, yo, I subbed just now for it, and boom, he's straight in this episode. So, we are in Gold 4, and we were Silver 4 last season. Remember, Silver 5 was the lowest ranked Silver. Obviously, they got rid of Division 5 this year, so he wasn't the lowest in Silver, but he was Silver 4, so there has been improvement, and also a slightly positive win rate. So that shows good. You do deserve to be Gold. It's not like you used the early MMR to get there, and then you're slowly making your way down. You've got a good win rate, positive win rate, so that's a great sign. As for what we play, we are a mixture by the seams of it. So a lot of Annie, but then randomly Vayne with a great win rate. Then you've got Lux, which is mid lane Lux by the looks of the CS. Then you've got Kayn, which actually has a lot of farm if that's jungle Kayn. Then you've got Ashe, negative win rate. You've got Veigar, and also I probably should change that to that, but it doesn't change that much. So what, a jungle AD carry player, mid player? So a bit, bit random maybe in places. That's one thing we can straight away say. As for your recent performances, any just standout things just right from this history? Nothing too much, well, I don't know. There's Morgana support, and Arcane Comet is fine for Morgana support, but as just a random thing, would Glacial be better if you do want to mix your Morgana support with Twin Shadows and stuff like that? It might be able to do more, and if you're playing Morgana support, a lot of the reason why Morgana mid doesn't work as well, especially with Glacial, is her damage output is relatively low. So if you actually combined Morgana support with then Glacial, it might work pretty well. Same goes for here. You're playing Veigar, and you're also building Glacial items without running Glacial the rune. So I'd be a little bit careful of that, because that's not maximizing the strength of both of the setups, basically. Again, another example here, you love these Glacial items, but you're not running Glacial in any of them. Also, I wouldn't really build GLP on Annie anyway. If you want one of them items, I'd go for Proto Belt, give you that little extra nudge distance to get a Tibbers off, potentially. All right, anything noticeable? So consistency, we've said this is one of the big things that comes up. So just to kind of go through it, of let's just say every single champion, and you'll notice I'm not going to say the same champion name twice often. Jax, Kayn, Warwick, Morgana, Veigar, Kayn, Annie, Syndra, Malz, Syndra, Morgana, Diana. There's one time that you've played the same champion twice in a row. Brand, Syndra, Annie, Diana, both remakes though, so they don't count. Kled, Diana. So maybe you've been playing Diana or picking it up because you've been watching the videos, which is cool. But yeah, again, this is one of the big points that we've always mentioned for consistency. Especially if you're lower ranked, I would recommend playing the same thing for 2 or 3 games in a row. You don't do that, which will definitely hurt your consistency. You're having great games here, and then you have a 2 and 7 performance. Good game, then you've died 10 times there. Good game, 11 deaths, 5 and 9. So maybe your consistency is a little bit off because you're not consistent, right? You're not playing the same thing that builds that consistency level. Next up, you've played, 450 roughly games of League. In 450 games, if we change it to rank solo as well, you have played 62, which isn't terrible, but then as always, from 53 to 62, so there's 9 games there, do those losses have to be there? 3-11, 2-7, 10 deaths, 7, 9, 11, 1-5, 2-13, 2-4, 4-11. So you have a very clear pattern of the games that you've lost one champion. it seems that you're just picking these randomly. Like, you don't really play them, and it shows because you're having a bad performance. So let's cut that out. If you want to climb, don't do the random picks. And if you do want to pick something new up, make sure you get that practice in. Because it's not just here. Like, again, in these games, some okay performances, but there's 4 losses there. And again, rough performances. So there's 4 losses. There's 9 losses. So there's 13 losses that you have to ask yourself, did those need to be games? If you played champions you know in those 13, 14 games, and you got a 50% win rate, well, suddenly you're a bit higher rating because you should be gaining more rating than you lose. So instead of losing all 13 or 14 of that, which again, if you're losing roughly 15, 16 LP, that's a lot, right? That's like a division or more in losses just in that. Like, that's 100 and, let's just call it easy, 200 LP, give or take, of 14 losses that arguably you didn't even need to have. And if you didn't lose that 200 LP in those 14 losses, and let's say that you went 50-50 win rate in these 14 games by playing whatever you normally do, suddenly you will only be down, well, you wouldn't be any down because it would be a 50% win rate. If anything, instead of losing 200 LP, you might have gained 30 or 40, depending how good your MMR is. So that's where you got to start thinking that this type of thing really hurts you in the long run. And then anything else, there's 3 losses there, there's 1 and 3 performance there, there's a 1 and 4, 6 losses. So again, if you add up all of these reds, 1 and 5, and if you get rid of these bad performing champions for you, 2, 6, 2, 6, if you add up all of them, I presume there's probably going to be 5, 10, there's probably going to be at least 40 or 50 losses that you have that you technically probably didn't need because you're just playing these champions kind of what seems to be a little bit randomly. And again, this might be, it's not harsh because like people want these profile reviews, they really want to improve, which is awesome. But if you take that 40 or 50 losses, and again, you didn't technically need those losses, and the way that is the best way to describe it, as I mentioned, if you lose 16 LP per game, 16 times 40, if we go on the lower end, and I think it's more than 40 losses that is all adding up, but let's just say 40, 16 times 40, that's a lot of losses, right? Again, I'm just going to get the math right in the video. 16 times, oh, that's plus. 16 times 40, that is 600, you guys can't even see it, 640 LP that you've lost and haven't gained anything back. That's a lot. So again, if you take from Division 4 to Division 1 in League, that's 400 LP, or 500 kinda. So you are basically have lost in games, like, you know, 0 wins on Jax, 1 and 5, so there's 5 losses there on Malzahar. There's 6 losses on Pyke, 6 losses on Kennen. And again, we're just going at champions that it shows that you don't have a great performance with. 2 on Echo, 2 on Jhin, all of these. That's about 600 LP worth of losses that you didn't need to do. So it puts it in a big, like, holy Jesus Christ, I'm not going to do that anymore. So that, again, that's why it's so important to try and cut that out. And again, it hurts me as a player. It's one of my weaknesses as too. So don't feel bad about it. Everyone does it, hence why it's a big thing that comes up in these videos. I do it because I will say my excuse a bit is I'm a YouTuber and I'm a variety content champion creator. But if I wasn't, sure, I would never one trick, but I would really narrow. And again, when we got Master in that video that I was like, oh, we finally got Master, you guys have seen the past 3 seasons, my champion pool has shrunken a bit. Still quite large, but it has shrunk a bit. And if you are like silver or gold and you're wanting to push up the ladder, this is the easiest thing that you can change. Easiest. Because if you look at some of your win rates, 53% win rate, great. 69 in that amount of games is awesome. 54, 65, 67, 58, 73, 64, 64. If you just play these solid picks and you've got like a 60% win rate plus and you cut out all like the negative stuff, dude, you'll be laughing. You'll be climbing gold really fast. It's just every now and then you're having these bad performances on a little bit of random champions and you just need to cut that out. And if you do that, I'm going to be honest, looking at some of these, and your farm is on the low side for sure. Like, your averages are low, so we need to get that up. But your KDs are good. The gold income's pretty, like, okay. But if you just stick to these positive win rates for you personally and you cut out the randomness, you might be looking at platinum by the end of the season, possibly. So I'd go with that, and let's see, again, come back in maybe 3 months and hit me up a message and we'll do like a little thing of how well are you doing and how well are you going to cut out the random stuff. But I think this guy could definitely get platinum, and that's also a lesson to you. Guys, add it up yourself. Go on your profile right now, add up all the losses. And again, we're not going to count these because that's a 50% win rate. We could count this Kai'Sa, so there's even more losses. Because again, we could count it because again, it's a negative KD performance. So it shows that the champion isn't very familiar with the player. Kind of count up all the champions that you're like, okay, 1 and 5, those 5 losses, and I'm having bad performances. Count that and add up all of your losses on champions that you know you're not performing very well. How many losses are there? Count them up, and then again, work out how much LP have you lost because you're doing that. And again, remember that the fact that it's LP lost of purely those games. Obviously, if you still played those games, you're not going to win all of those games. So let's just say, for easy randomness, 600 LP is what this guy has lost due to all of those games. If he played the same amount of games, but played on champions that he's good at, you know, hell, his Diana's really good, his Annie's good, but let's just say he averaged out to looking at his good champions, a 55% win rate in like those 40 games, instead of losing all of those 40 games, instead of losing 600 LP for nothing gained, the guy probably would have gained LP. He would have not lost 600, he would have probably gained about 100. That's the crazy thing. That's what you really have to focus on, which a lot of people don't. Because again, they kind of go into autopilot. And yes, one loss doesn't mean a lot. And it doesn't mean a lot to me. It's, one loss, I lost 16 LP, I don't really care. I lost 14 LP, I don't really care. It adds up. It adds up and it makes you kind of go, whoops. So yeah, there you go. There's a big bit of advice there. Next up, we've got Zoran's Soul, while it's zoomed out for some reason. There we go. So we're on LAN. We don't actually get many LAN profiles, which is what Latin... Is that the Latin server? I think so. So we're in Platinum, and also these weird ad boxes that are popping up places. So in Platinum 4, we are in the top nearly 12, under 12%. We were gold last season, low gold last season, and gold before that. So we're now Platinum, so that's good. What is bad, though, and what we said last game, and why are these boxes here? Hello? This is weird. They're interfering with my stuff. Again, do have ad block because, unfortunately, this site has very bad ads that are very, you know, they get in the way, which are bad ads. There we go. Negative win rate. Oh, my God. Like, look at this. Why do I care about this? Go away. Stop. Enable. Go away, please. I'm trying to make a video. Thank you very much. Again, I don't mind ads. I'm a YouTuber. Ads are fine, but not when they're in your face. Stop. Anyway, with negative win rate is what I wanted to point out. That's a bad sign. So I don't know if we go in the tier graph, go into monthly. Okay, so where did we do the climbing? So this is season start. So what I do like to see is the broken MMR affected pretty much every single server, but it only affected the first 3 months. So the first 3 months of the season are roughly here. So you didn't use the early season to get to Platinum, which is good, because that shows that you did get to Platinum after they fixed the MMR. So that's a good sign. So just maybe recently, and again, it's only 4 losses over wins. Maybe recently you've been having a bit of a rough time, and maybe we can try and find out why. So that's a good sign. And like we've always said, if you use the early season, especially this season when everything was broken, that's where it gets a bit iffy if someone deserves their rank, but you did it after they fixed the LP, so thumbs up. So what's going on? Right, so we are a bit of Kayle, bit of Akali, Quinn. So the first thing that I instantly have noticed, your top champions, apart from one, all have a neutral win rate. So generally, your best champions, your most played champions, should have your best win rates, in theory. Well, Kayle, your most played by far, 50%. Then that's good, but then 50%, 50%. So the champions you are playing the most are not helping you climb the most. So that's where you'll probably just be kind of stuck, because you're playing them the most and you're not winning a lot. You're neutral. But your Akali does seem like maybe that's working for you. Maybe it's a recent pickup roughly, because you are, again, consistency. Akali. 3 losses, obviously, but that's good. Again, the thing with Akali, do I recommend her for solo queue? Yes and no. Akali is great. Well, actually, 4 games of Akali. Good for consistency. Akali's great for solo queue because she's an assassin. She can snowball, but the risk of Akali is she's an assassin. So you can get countered. You can get CC'd. You can have bad games, and then you're useless because you're an assassin. So that is the inherent risk of Akali, but everyone that plays Assassins knows that risk. So you've probably already accepted that, and you're like, okay, I play Akali, I know I'll have games that I pop off, and I have games that I do poop. You're just hoping that you pop off more than you do poop. And so far, again, looking at your win rate, that's probably true. And again, your win rate would have been better than this. It would have been over 60%, but you do have 3 recent losses as Akali, but then 2 recent wins. So yeah, again, it's fine. One thing that I've instantly noticed, control wards or lack of. No purchase control wards this game. None, 1, 1, that was a remake. None, 1, 1, 2. So 2 is the most you've ever bought. That's a bit on the low side. Worth noting, because again, if you are someone that is dying, 17 deaths is quite high. 6 and 7 negative KD, 3 and 5 negative KD, negative KD, negative KD, negative KD. So the deaths are quite high. Vision can help that. So maybe you're getting caught out by the jungler or whatever. Vision might be something that you should be looking more to do. And obviously Akali's got great escape routes, but if you're overextended and then you're away from your tower too much, yeah, you'll get killed. So vision is the first thing that I think we need to improve on. Farm, maybe a bit, but again, farm's much of a muchness. It sounds weird, and obviously, yes, I would always recommend people to get better at farming, but you're playing Akali, so you're not looking to farm, you're looking to kill. In a perfect world, you're looking for both. But in a realistic world, solo queue isn't really about both. It's about just whatever you're the best at, do that thing the most, and you probably just want to get kills. So if we just say you've played, nearly 300 games in that amount of time, you have played 47. Again, same old story, from 37 to 47. Those are 10 losses there. Do you need those 10 losses? You do have some wins, but then again, there's 4 losses. Do you need those losses? There's another 3 losses. Do you need those losses? There's 5 losses there. There's 4 losses there. There's 5 losses there. Same story as the last guy. If you cut this out, right there is your negative win rate. Right there. Like again, there's 4 more losses you have than wins. That is literally these 2 champions. And again, performance-wise, you're having a rough time on both, so you probably just randomly pick them. Boom, there's your negative win rate. So again, it's crazy, as it's basically every profile that we look at has the same kind of mistakes going on. And that's why sometimes these get a bit repetitive, but it's that important. It's just to cut out that. Get rid of the randomness in ranked. If you like randomness, you get bored of champions, that's fine. Use flex queue to get rid of the randomness for you. Use normals if you want to. Use ARAM. In solo queue, put your tryhard hat on and keep with what you're good at and consistent of. Again, don't be a one trick, but if we just look through your profile, continue playing Kayle. We want to get that win rate up, but the farm is good. Akali for sure. Quinn, I wouldn't, because again, you've played 24 games, negative KD. That's quite a bad sign. So maybe not Quinn, but your Neeko, again, negative KD. Alawi, maybe, sure. Your Aurelia, yes. Your Rumble, yes, but we need to get that KD better. Maud, maybe it's on the fence. So I do think you're a player that may definitely benefit from placing more vision down, or you're maybe a too risk player, because your deaths are very high, and a lot of your main champions have higher deaths than you do kills. And usually, again, that comes from one of 2 types of players, and they can be both too. 1, overly aggressive, and 2 aggressive. So you go for a play and you just get killed in the 1v1. You're like, oops, I went over aggressive. I should have went back and bought an item by now, and you just stayed around. Or lack of vision. That's usually one of the 2 players that has negative KDs on their main champion. That isn't obviously a team playing champion. Akali wants good KDA. Quinn does want good KDA. Neeko wants. Aurelia wants. Rumble wants. They all want good KD, but yours is a bit iffy. So play them more, get that consistency up, stop the random stuff, and let's get more vision. More control wards, more vision, and I think that will help you a lot. Next up, we are EU Northeast again, Boon Ixan, sure. We are in Gold 3, which is in the top 32% on EU Northeast. We are a 1 game negative win rate right now, but it is still counting as 50%. We have played around 343 games of ranked. 643 games, sorry. And then we are a Rumble player, but then a bit of a Lowy has crept in, a bit of Tryndamere, a bit of Aatrox, and again, the pattern has emerged again when you're top played. Again, what I would, by the way, expect, if people are wondering, this little box, if you do this to your own profile, this little box, I am expecting every champion in this box, which is what your top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, your top 7 champions, I'd expect a positive win rate for your top 7 champions. There is a reason that they should be your top champions, and we've got positive win rate there. Good. Positive, Negative, negative, positive, neutral, positive. So there's 2 champions there with negatives, 1 with a neutral. So that is something instantly that we can say that maybe needs to be a bit of a fix. And again, is there a correlation between that? And it does appear so. So your good Rumble, good KD. Alawi, good KD, or more or less okay. Tryndamere, negative win rate, negative KD. And again, I'm not saying KDA, because KDA, you technically have a positive KDA, because that's assists. I'm talking you're playing a top lane bruiser that's pretty much specialized in 1v1. I'm talking about KD, kills versus deaths. And your negative KD here, and your negative KD there, and those are your 2 champions that you got negative win rates on. Your Renekton, again, is a bit iffy, definitely on the border. That's quite a lot of deaths for Renekton, a lot of deaths for Darius, so instantly I know you're an all-in player. Instantly, that you probably go into the middle of a team fight and it either goes really good or really bad. So maybe instantly you have to be a bit more calculated of when you want to go in. And again, very quickly, there are some games you're buying Vision, some games you're buying none, and it does seem maybe there's a correlation a little bit of your good games. Yes, you're buying them, and your bad games, not really. So again, 0-8-0, bad performance, but this was a week ago. Maybe you're a bit tilted. You're like, I don't want to play anymore. But yeah, no control wards. No control wards here, 2 there, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, 2, 4 there, which is better, none, 2. So again, a bit inconsistent when it comes to control wards, worth pointing out. And then as for how many champions you played, again, we look, the thing that we do every time, ranked solo, again, you've got 640 games. You played 63, which isn't too bad, and this so far in this episode is the lowest amount of just 1 loss is that you've got. Again, you could still question why are they there, because again, if you look through the performances, 2-9, 3-16, 6-13, 1-7, 1-7, 4-11, 1-7. So all of these are bad performances, so instantly it's like all of them could be avoidable. You could play something else that you know better. And again, some people may come back at me and go, oh, I got autofilled that game and I had to play Tristana. Like, I don't play AD carry. Then I'd say you're not ready for ranked, because a good ranked player knows at least 1 champion in every role, ideally 2, just in case it's banned or picked. You got to be prepared for autofill, even though it's a dumb mechanic. You should be prepared for it, and you should have at least 1 champion in every role. And again, there's 2 losses there, 3 losses, and again, bad performance, high death performance on Katarina, and again, a bunch of negative win rate champions, a bunch. So like we said to the guy in first, 6 losses on Kog'Maw there, negative KD there, negative KD there, negative KD there, big negative KD there. So your instant problem, instantly, and again, this is maybe a bigger example of the guy, you know, in number 1. If you get rid of these negative win rate champions, you just stop playing them, instantly your win rate will go up. Instantly, like in a matter of like a couple of days. Because that does seem to be a huge problem for you. Again, there's in excess 17 losses there. And again, if you take it as you minus, so there is a 9 game losses more than wins. So there's 9 games that practically didn't need to get lost. There is 5 more losses, so there's instantly 14 games there. There's 3, so another 3, there's 17. Another 4, because we're minusing the wins from the losses to see what the difference of the losses are. There's another 4 there, so we're over 20. There's 6, 26. There's another 2, 28 roughly. There's over 30 now. You know, again, add all of these up, add all of the losses up, you've got about 50 losses that you could arguably not have. It's a lot. And again, if you know yourself how much LP you're losing, if you're losing 15 LP per loss, 15 times 50, it's a lot of LP, right? So if you just cut that out and you stick with consistency, and that doesn't mean you can never play something new ever again in ranked. Again, I want to make that point clear, but just make sure that you're ready to play it. Make sure you've practiced it in normals, in flex, whatever it may be. You've researched it. You know what you're doing, then play it. Don't randomly pull them out. And again, to me, it's obvious when it's randomly pulled out, when it's bad performances. You know, 3.5 kills, 14 deaths in your 2 games. Again, it's got that random, like, I'm playing Aurelia this game. You know, that's what we need to cut out. And again, if you instantly cut that out, your win rate will suddenly, easily bounce to positive. Easily. And again, if you cut all those losses out right now, you'd probably be gold 1, maybe, low gold 1, high gold 2, maybe. It's that big. It's that big of a deal. So today's been a quite like episode that we've got big examples of these big loss deficits, but it's quite good because you guys at home can use this advice. And finally, we are doing EU West Aegis. We are in Gold 3. We've got a positive win rate, and we are in the top 25% of the server. We were Silver last season, Silver 3 last season, so a good improvement there. Ranked Solo, so we are a Pantheon player. I wonder if you were a Pantheon player before the rework as well, possibly, or is this just like, you love him and you're picking it up since, I don't know. But we are a top lane player, it looks like, with a bit of jungle now creeping in, because again, like we said, your top champions, positive win rate. Negative win rate for your second most, so that's instantly something's like, what's up with that? Positive, negative, boom. But then again, the playing number is going down quite rapidly. So, let's see. Instantly, vision. No control ward. None. No control ward. No control ward. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1. So just recently in your Nocturne games, no control wards. So that's something that maybe you could think about as a jungler. Again, if you're an aggressive Nocturne, which you're having some good performances on, put a control ward in the enemy jungle, hiding in like a bush just to get random vision of the enemy jungle. That ward can literally last like 10 to 15 minutes. Really good value control ward if you're playing aggressive. Think about doing that, you know, at least one of those. But as for, you've played, what, 150, 160 champs this this season? 20, so a lot better, but again, add the losses, 14 to 20, 6 losses, and again with kind of bad performances. So there's 6 losses. There's another 4, so we've got 10 loss deficit instantly, and that's about it. So if you get rid of those 10 losses, your win rate suddenly, again, if you go from 10 losses, you're averaging a 53% win rate, and that is with those 10 losses. You'd right now, and again, not all of those 10 games would turn into 10 wins, but it would probably be a positive win rate if you're playing stuff you know. You'd probably have a 55, 56% win rate right now if you didn't have those 10 losses, because again, you haven't played that many games. So again, it's just cutting that out, like we've said to the others, get more vision. But what I do like is consistency. So you are playing a bunch of Nocturne in a row, and that shows. Like, again, look, you had an okay performance, but it was a loss. But then your next game, another great performance, a win. Another great performance, a win. An okay performance, a win. So good consistency there. And as for other things, well, it does seem that maybe you're losing a lot of Pantheon. And what the crazy thing is, your negative win rate recently has been slightly negative, 1 loss here. Your overall win rate on Pantheon is a positive. But yeah, you're having a rough time recently. And again, maybe it is because you played him before the rework and now he's weaker. But I don't know. Maybe you're moving away from him now and you're going to Nocturne. Which, by the way, I think is a great idea. Because in a weird way, Pantheon and Nocturne have similarities. Both are melee orientated, bit of spell damage, but then has that kind of global jump type thing. Obviously slightly different. But maybe Nocturne is the way to go. Bit of Teemo there. But yeah, like, honestly, I think if you just keep doing, so there is, again, consistency. You are playing Pantheon a bunch, which is good to see. It's good, you know, consistency is going up. Again, a bunch of losses, big loss streak here. But if we just keep that consistency up, get rid of the random stuff, and yeah, just play what you know you're good at, is like some of the best advice that I think you can give someone in ranked, which is very obvious. But it's weird how many people don't follow that advice. If you do that, yeah, you'll probably get at least high gold by the end of the season. Because like right now, if you cut it out those couple losses, you're on 60 LP gold 2. You'll easily be high gold 2 if you cut out all those like random games. And if you keep that up, your win rate will only improve. So yeah, I think you'll probably be able to get high gold by the end of the season. Maybe dip your toe in platinum. And again, keep to what you're good at. Like, again, overall win rates of champions, to me, is not something you should look at when it comes to champion statistics. It's more personal statistics that you should look at, and don't ignore them. So your Pantheon is still got a positive win rate, but like your recent win rate is negative. So maybe watch that. But then a great Renekton win rate and a great KD, great KDA as well. Garen, even though I don't rate the champion, you can't ignore that you're doing good with him. That, you know, you can't ignore you're not doing great with Maud. Your Teemo's okay. Your Shen's doing good. Your Nocturne recently is getting better. So don't ignore the statistics of you personally as a player, and buy more vision. So if you do that, I think it'd be great. But that's going to be it for this video, everybody. Throw a like on the video if you do enjoy these. Throw a subscribe. Appreciate all the support recently. It's been really good, and the views are going back up because the summer is over. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Adios, amigos, and goodbye.